Why am I sitting here panicking? Because I don't have a plan for Summerween. I'm panicking. I'm gonna be out of town, and I'm struggling to admit to myself that I don't know what to do. I am so embarrassed. I had my fan on, like my ceiling fan, right above like the mic of my camera while I was filming this because my AC was broken and it was so freaking hot because it's like July in the South. But I promise you, it goes away eventually in the video. So if you hear that like reverb in the mic, I'm sorry. Hey, what's up? Hello, Katie here. Welcome to or welcome back to my channel. And today we're doing a crossover event. I'm gonna give you my Summerween TBR as well as my July TBR. But before we get into that, I do want to thank the sponsor of this video, which is Book of the Month, who has so graciously offered to sponsor me again in this video. As you all already know, Book of the Month is a super popular online book subscription service where their team every month vets hundreds of new releases and anticipated releases or books that have not come out yet or will not have come out by the time their subscription box gets to you, so you get them before everyone else. They vet all of these books and they make a curated list of 5 different books in different genres so that you can spend less time researching new books and more time reading. And if by the looks of that giant stack of unread books in the corner of your bedroom says anything, it's that you need all the time you can get. Okay, so Book of the Month is here for you. And not only is Book of the Month completely risk-free, you can skip any month at any time for absolutely no cost to you, but it's also the cheapest that you're going to find a hardcover new release. And if you use my link down below in the description as well as my code, and it's Katie, you will get your first book for $9.99. And I'm so excited, like the code is my name. Like that's pretty cool. So the first 5 books I'm going to show you are going to be the July picks for Book of the Month. The first of which being We Are the Brennans by Tracy. Now this is a contemporary fiction about an Irish Catholic family whose pub is on the brink of financial ruin, and the only way to save them is to upend generations of dangerous secrets that will completely upend everything they believe about their lives. And then we have Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby, and this is a mystery thriller that has the greatest tagline. Literally all it said was, a black father, a white father, 2 murdered sons, and a quest for vengeance. I'm hooked. The People We Keep by Allison Larkin. This is a contemporary fiction about a young singer-songwriter who is determined to make her way in life, and what she does is she chronicles her life through the songs that she writes. And I was flipping through and there actually is like a bunch of songs written out through this, which I think is super interesting. And it's about finding like a found family and learning that where you came from does not dictate who you will become. And then we have a debut author, Kaya Elderson, who wrote Sisters in Arms, which is a historical fiction about the untold but true story of the 688s, which is the first and only all-black battalion in World War II in the Women's Army Corporation. And this is about the women who risked their lives to voyage to Europe to make sure that American servicemen could hear word from their loved ones during World War II. And then we have my pick of the month, and I'm so freaking excited. Like, I want to read this right now, but then I also want to read it for Summerween. And I don't know what to do, but it's 56 Days by Katherine Ryan Howard, and this is a thriller, and it is about the pandemic. It's a thriller about the pandemic where these 2 characters, Sierra and Oliver, meet in Dublin at a supermarket at the very beginning of the pandemic, and 2 weeks later, they've been kind of dating, and the lockdown starts, so they decide to move in together. Yeah, no time like the present, right? Might as well just jump in, take a risk. Speaking of a risk, okay. 56 days after they meet, detectives show up to Oliver's apartment and find a decomposing body inside. And they're like, hey, Ollie, care to explain? Like, what's up, pal? What happened? What's going on? This is about a look into how someone could use the chaos and confusion of the pandemic to commit the perfect crime. I need to know what happened. I need to know. So thank you so much, Book of the Month, again. And now we're gonna get into more of my Summerween picks. If you don't know what Summerween is, it is a readathon that was created by my friends Gabby and Olivia, and it's because we really like to read a lot of thrillers, a lot of spooky books, horror, stuff like that, and you always want to save them for Halloween, but Halloween is such a short amount of time for all the books that we want to read, so they were like, listen, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna have a week-long Halloween readathon in the summer, and they also do one called Winterween in the winter, obviously. There's a lot of prompts in Summerween, lots of them. Well, there's only 5 this time, and one of them is like a baking and like coffee or drink prompt, so that one like doesn't really count as far as books go. But one of the prompts is to read a book with Halloween colors on the cover, like orange and black. And I thought, what perfect book, because I want to read this so bad. And Grace also wants to read it, and we're going on a road trip, which is one of the things I'm doing during Summerween. It's going to make editing kind of hard, but I really, really want to read Survive the Night by Riley Sager. And it has orange in the cover. It's basically orange and blue, but the blue kind of segues into black. And I was like, this is perfect. This is perfect. It's a thriller, and it's set in 1991, and it said like, George H.W. Bush is in the office, and Nirvana's in the tape deck, and movie-obsessed college student Charlie Jordan is in a car with a man who might be a serial killer. Did any of that make sense? That sounds so freaking entertaining. Now, Grace also really wants to read this, and I was like, this would be perfect. Like, Grace was like, we have to listen to that on the car trip because we're on a car trip, and this takes place in a car, and it's like we're locked in and we can't get out, and she's locked in and she can't get out. It's gonna be amazing. And I was like, oh my God, you're so right. I'm obsessed. Can't wait. And Riley Sager is an author that I am hugely hit or miss with. Like, I've read 4 of his books, which I think he's only ever written for. But 2 of them I gave 5 stars, and the other 2 I gave 2 stars. So we're really hoping, because his last book I gave 5 stars, I'm like, hopefully that doesn't mean that this one I'm gonna give 2 stars. I don't know, we'll just have to see. The next book is actually a recommendation from Olivia, so I feel like I have to read it in Summerween, and that is Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant. So this is a horror, and it is following a crew as they set out to find out how this other crew that was making a mockumentary disappeared in the Mariana Trench 7 years ago. Disappeared without a trace. All of them just gone, dead, nobody knows. It's a huge mystery. And we're following this crew as they try to figure out what happened to them. I have heard from Olivia that the audiobook is absolutely stunning. It's fantastic. It's atmospheric. It's creepy. She gave it 5 stars. So I'm very interested in that. Like, I love a good audio, and I do own the audio as well, so I could do like a back and forth. This could fit for the Halloween covers because there is obviously a lot of black on the cover, and red is like almost orange, right? You know what I'm saying? But then also this is a horror, so it fits for, there's another prompt for reading a horror, there's a prompt for reading paranormal, and then there's another, prompt for reading in the dark. But this one I could also use as my paranormal book, because if there's like mermaids or something in there, that's paranormal. This next one is a Gabby recommendation, and it is A House at the Bottom of the Lake by Josh Millerman. This is a horror, and it is about 2 17-year-olds that one day they see, you're not gonna guess it, a house at the bottom of a lake. Oh my God, shocker. Anyway, they see this house at the bottom of the lake, and they decide they're gonna go investigate. And what they discover is that just because the house is empty doesn't mean nobody's home. I mean, that's all I need to know. Literally just that line, just because the house is empty doesn't mean nobody's home. You literally got me. You got me. I was looking at Goodreads and I was like, why is there any more description? Why am I still reading? I'm done. I want to read the book. Open up. Hello. And this book is super short. It's like 120 pages, I think, on Kindle. So I don't own the book physically, but I was planning on reading this on my Kindle in the dark was my hope, because I've heard it's like really weird and creepy. And it's by the same guy who wrote Bird Box, which I've heard is also good. So this one I am planning on using for the read a book in the dark, but if I need to, if I'm desperate, I can also use it hopefully for paranormal, because I'm assuming there's going to be some sort of like swamp creatures or something. It's in a lake and it's creepy, so there's got to be some sort of like mermaid thing, I'm assuming. Another contender for reading in the dark is Frankenstein by Junji Ito. This is clearly a horror manga retelling of Frankenstein, but this also includes 6 short stories of Oshikiri, who is a high school student who is living in a decaying mansion that has a door that leads to a parallel world. And it's like a horrific world or something. It said that there's like monsters and horrific things and death and all this crazy stuff that happens in it, lots of murder. And I was like, okay, if there's monsters, this counts as paranormal. Right? I'm trying to cross all my like T's and dot all my I's just in case I can't read 5 books because I'm going to be out of town. Like, do you see that I'm really like stretching myself thin here? The last book that I have in my Summerween pile is Layla by Colleen Hoover. I've never read a Colleen Hoover book before. ever, and I've always been intrigued, but I'm not a big romance person. But this book was actually sent to me by Gabby, who is the host of Summerween, and I was like, I feel like I'm obligated to read this during Summerween. And what's so funny is that she sent this to me, and literally in the note, it was like, I don't think this is your thing, but I really want to know what you're going to think of it. Like, I want to see a reaction, and I thought that was hilarious. I don't know much about this book, honestly, because every time I hear somebody talk about it, I feel like it conflicts with what I heard from the last person. The only thing I know is that it's a paranormal romance, which Colleen Hoover has never done before. And I want to say it's like a vampire. I have no idea, but it does fit the Halloween colors cover because it's like orange and black, and then also it's paranormal. Like, it's said that it's a paranormal romance, so this definitely fits the paranormal prompt. So that's going to conclude like the Summerween picks that I possibly have, and now we're going to move into the books that I want to read for the remainder of July. Now this next one technically is a mystery thriller, but it just didn't fit any of the prompts for Summerween, and that is They Never Learn by Lainey Fargo. I am so excited to read this book. I think this is stunning. I've heard so many people talk about it. And oh wait, this was also sent to me by Gabby. Wow. It's almost like Olivia and Gabby are like sponsoring this video. Anyway, she sent this to me for my birthday. Thank you so much, Gabby. Love you the most. This is about a college professor, English professor, Scarlett Clark, I believe her name is, and she's an exceptional professor, but she's even better at getting away with murder. And every year, she researches and goes out and looks for the worst man her university has to offer, and she plans out their well-deserved demise. But she's been doing this for years, by the way. Years. Love that for her. Her latest victim, she gets a little sloppy. And the risk of her secret life coming out is close. Okay? What I've heard about this book is that it's like, I've heard so many people say this, so many, that if A Promising Young Woman with Carey Mulligan was a book, it would be this. And Grace has been wanting to watch that movie so bad. And I was like, okay, that'd be perfect. We could watch the movie and then I could read the book, or read the book and then watch the movie, or whatever. And she also really wants to read the book. So I was like, this is kind of perfect timing. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's definitely going to happen this month. Oh my god, I forgot to mention that I had 2 other possibilities for Summerween if things get like crazy or I'm mood reading. But the possibility of reading Uzumaki by Genchi Ito, which is like spirals are popping up and killing people. I have no idea. But this is huge, so I don't know if it's going to happen for Summerween. And then also The Kind Worth Killing by Peter Swanson. This would be a reread for me. I gave it 5 stars like many years ago, and I want to reread it because I haven't liked any of his other books since. And this is like a guy that I think just got cheated on by his wife. And then he meets this girl at an airport bar. And I'm pretty sure they start like plotting his wife's death. I think so. I need to reread it. I don't know if it's going to happen for Summerween, but I think it will happen for this month. A book I should absolutely be able to get to is the graphic novel Fence Volume 1 by C.S. Pacat. I'm not totally sure how to pronounce the last name for this one, but this was sent to me for my birthday by Desiree, aka Libri Labra on Instagram. I think that's so cute. So this I've heard plenty of fantastic things about. It is a LGBT like sports graphic novel series. It's about fencing, obviously, and it's about this guy Nicholas, who is the son of like a retired fencing champion, and he gets into a very elite program, and everyone is very cutthroat, and it's all about rivalries and romances between teammates. I've heard it's very gay, and I've also heard it's very good. It is a pretty short, so I don't see how I could have any excuse not to finish this in July. The next couple books I do not physically own, but I have my heart set on reading them this month, so I think I'm going to buy the audio. But the first one would be Beach Read by Emily Henry. I really want to read this because not only do I hear everyone saying amazing things about it, but I didn't pick it up or even try to get it from my library, but Grace actually read it this month and was like, this book is amazing. This book is amazing. She was like 5 out of 5 stars, one of my favorite books of all time. And I was like, wow. What? Because she never reads romance either. Like, I never read romance. I think I even read more romance than her. So if she's saying this is a favorite book for her, I have to read it. Like, are you kidding me? What? This is going to be obviously about 2 people. It's romance. What's up? This is about 2 authors, one of which is a romance author who has lost all hope of love, and then the other is a literary writer who is in a huge writing block. So what they do is they are like on a retreat, like on a vacation, I think like a cabin, I don't know. Well, it's on, no, not a cabin. What am I talking about? It's on a beach. Hello? A beach cabin? I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, it's these two people and they decide to have a challenge and write in the other person's genre. And what happens is, I mean, it's a romance, so I'm assuming it's going to upend their idea of happily ever after. I don't know, but Grace said she absolutely loved it and she like refused to tell me anything about the book. So like that lets you know that she really wants me to read it. So like, Grace, I'm planning on it. And then, of course, she immediately started reading People We Meet on Vacation, also by Emily Henry, which is also a romance. And she also gave this 5 stars and said that she wasn't sure which one she liked more, which is such high praise because I feel like when you go from absolutely adoring one book from an author to another book from that author, they always have a lower rating, which is like so funny to think about that she gave both 5 stars. Like, that's such high praise. But this one is also a romance and it is about 2 best friends who for 10 years, they went on a vacation together every single year. But then 2 years ago, they fell apart. Their relationship was ruined by something. We don't know what it was. And now in the present day, the girl main character really wants to reignite this relationship. She wants to be best friends again. So she contacts the guy and is like, please go on this one last vacation with me. And he like reluctantly agrees. She's very surprised. They go on this vacation. And I don't think I'm stretching it to say things are gonna get romantic because like, it's a romance, but I'm intrigued. Let me tell you how freaking excited I am for this next book. Gilded Wolves by Roshi Chokshi. I am so freaking excited. I've been wanting to read this YA fantasy for so long and like now's the time because the 3rd and I believe final book is coming out in September and I just like I need to jump on this train because I've heard so many people say it's absolutely fantastic or like one of their favorite series of all time and I'm like, what am I sitting on? Like what am I sleeping on? I need to hurry up. All I know is that this is about like a found family group of misfits led by Severin, who's like a treasure hunter. And I believe, what is it, like the elite group that's like the Order of the Babel asks him to do this crazy mission where he's going to get like his inheritance. Yeah, he's going to win back his inheritance and they need him to go and find this artifact. But he can't do it alone. Is this sounding like Six of Crows? Because it's sounding like Six of Crows to me and I'm excited. But I've also heard people say it's not like Six of Crows. So I don't know, but he has to like band together all these like misfits who are all like shockingly really good at something, like some particular thing, is to get them all together and they go through and explore the dark glittering underbelly of Paris and are trying to like solve, like basically pull off a heist, you know, very Six of Crows is all I'm saying. But that's if they can stay alive. I'm so pumped. I'm so pumped. Like, I have the audio coming in really soon on Libby, but I really want to physically own the book too. But I don't want to wait. I'll probably end up just like listening to the book and then immediately when I buy the book, physically reading it. And the last book is going to be a carryover from last month, and that is Amarya and the Night Brothers by Bibi Alston. This is a middle grade fantasy that I have really been wanting to read for a while, and I ended up having to kind of pass on my loan last month because I just had too many things I was doing with my Pride monthly vlog, but this month I am like, I have to read this. I want to so badly. Hello. And this is another book that Olivia has talked so much about and said is absolutely fantastic. Very excited. To me, the summary sounds very Legendborn, but in middle grade, because this is about our 13-year-old main character, Amarya, who her older brother goes missing. Now, she finds like a ticking suitcase or briefcase in his closet, and in it there's like an invitation to go to this school, and it's like the supernatural, like the Bureau of Supernatural Affairs, and she realizes that maybe like her brother was an agent for them and that she is like possibly could get accepted into this place, but she has to like test against a bunch of other kids who have known about this bureau their whole life and have known about the school the whole time and known about magic. So not only is she black and is not seen as well as the other students, obviously, because of the world that we live in, and then also because she doesn't know anything about magic and is like, how am I going to do this? But the reason I say it's like Legendborn is because it is about our main character trying to infiltrate like a society, but not really because of the society, but because they're trying to solve a personal mystery. And for Amarya, it is to find out what happened to her older brother. I have just heard such phenomenal things about this book from freaking everybody, and I really, 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 really want to get to this month. Okay, I know that was like quite a few books, but I mean, we'll get to, if I get to 50% of them, I mean, that's a win, right? That's a win. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you got this far into the video, if you want to leave the spider emoji for Summerween. I love the spider emoji. So I just think that's cute. If you want to leave that, if you got this far into the video, that would be amazing. If you want to subscribe to this channel, that would also be cool. I am posting about 2 to 3 times a week right now, which is insane, but pretty cool too. And if you want to follow me on Goodreads or Instagram, they are also going to be linked down below. I hope that you'll be catching me very soon with Summerween content. And other than that, I will see you very soon in another video. Bye. This is about a crew that goes to the sea. Jesus Christ, Katie. To the sea. They go to the sea. A crew that goes to the sea. End of list. It's a horror. Bye. Another contender for Reading in the Dark is Frankenstein by Junji Ito. Now, this is clearly a horror manga. Monger? What? No. Gilded Wolves? Wolves? Yeah, am I stretching it to assume that they're gonna, like, I don't know, wind up together? Wind up together?